alone, 21 officers were injured by rocks and bottles thrown by protesters. One officer's teeth knocked out. Some condemning the entire protest movement.
This quickly becoming a terrorist group committing hate crimes.
The New York Post categorizing the conflict with two provocative words: civil war.
Hate's not going to get you anywhere. It's just fueling a fire.
Everything is cops are pigs, cops are this. All they want to do is kill people. It's not like that.
For Officer Blackwell, his shifts rarely involve violent confrontation. In fact, he's never fired his gun in the line of duty. When things start to get tense, they rely on critical training to diffuse conflict, the best weapon for police to avoid using force.
11 P.T. Barnum.
Blackwell responds to a nuisance call, an allegedly drunk man banging on a door, trying to get into an apartment that isn't his. Officer Blackwell and Augusto keep the suspect calm, convincing him to walk away, bloodied into an ambulance. Crisis averted. Blackwell and Augusto believe in community policing, trying to erase the perceived battle lines between people of color and the police.
They were born here. They were raised here. They're from the community.
This isn't just friendly chit-chat. To them, this is quality police work. Does it help that you're black, do you think?
In some cases, in dealing with the public, I could sometimes de-escalate a situation.
So much of their police work is a strategic effort to stay connected to the community. Today, they shoot hoops with neighborhood kids, teenagers who tell us they've already had those tough conversations with their parents.
Do they tell you how to act around the police?
They say to listen, like if they say to stop, then you stop. Don't run.
Do you feel like the cops are good guys or bad guys?
Some cops are bad, just to choose to like use the law for what they want to do.
When you see teenage boys, what do you think?
Even if they do something bad, I try to turn it into something positive with them.
But you have to do a threat assessment.
Correct. Depending on the situation, our safety always comes first.
Bridgeport, like so many urban areas, facing its own painful questions about police brutality. This video from 2011 launched an FBI investigation. That man's lawsuit settling out of court with Bridgeport police. The two officers pled guilty and were sentenced to prison. By Sunday morning, Reverend Anthony Bennett of a historic black church across town is hearing calls to postpone their march on the local police headquarters.
We are tired, brothers and sisters, of explaining to white folks and even some of our own people that being pro-black is not being anti-white.
Hundreds gathered to the steady sounds of drum beats, refusing to let one tragedy eclipse another.
I think that everyone is forgetting the message. It's not that we're disregarding any other lives or anything like that. We just need to focus more on the Black Lives Matter because we're the ones that's being affected the most.
Do you worry, though, that Black Lives Matter gets hijacked by a sniper in Dallas?
No more than what Dylan Roof did indicts all of white male Christians in this country.
Along the march, an army of cell phones, many live streaming.
We out here. Hello.
Cell phones now ubiquitous, documenting the deaths of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile, whose girlfriend live-streamed the moments just after he was shot by police.
You told him to get his ID, sir, and his driver's license. Oh, my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
These graphic images creating a groundswell of public sympathy for Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
But the backlash is something Officer Augusto and his brothers in blue must contend with.
People are like pretty much in your face with that camera. And we're like, can you step back, please, give us some room. They don't want to move.
We're judged on a split-second decision where the public, the media, they can analyze that same video for hours.
These are not just split-second decisions. These are life and death decisions.
They're life and death. They're life and death. Nobody wakes up to say, I'm going to come to work today and, I want to kill somebody.
And yet, we find common ground.
Should we have education and mentorship for our young people so they don't get caught up in a life that leads to police engagement?
A shared frustration over the rampant violence and needless loss of life.
So this is from the mass shooting?
Yeah, we had a shooting up here. People got shot, including a fatality. Black-on-black crime is out of control. There's a lot of people in this community that want to address that issue. They don't want to see their loved ones killed.
It may not have made national headlines, but the killing left its mark on this community and these officers, who say that above all, they took the oath to serve and protect in order to prevent heartache like this from happening.
It seems to me every day you go out on the job, you're putting your lives on the line.
And I love what I do.
You love what you do.
Yeah, I'm scared. You have to be scared when you do this job. But it's what we do to protect other people.
In the twilight hours of our ride with Officer Blackwell, he takes us to a place he describes as one of the most dangerous housing projects in Bridgeport, where shootings are commonplace.
I'm going to be Trump when I grow up.
Instead of blood, we find hope.
What are you going to be? You want to be a cop when you grow up? Me too. You too? Me too.
Hope that these young boys will never have to choose sides in a country seemingly divided between black and blue. For Nightline, I'm Juju Chang in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Next, one-on-one with a young woman they're calling the best gymnast in the world. Her extraordinary skill, her signature move, and her moving personal story. And later, how a brand new app already has more Android users than Tinder. Why Pokemon Go has police in some areas concerned. We are coming up on the Olympics, and there is one name you will likely be hearing a lot, Simone Biles. She's a 19-year-old gymnastics prodigy. But before you see her perform in Rio, you will want to hear her incredible backstory. Here's ABC's Philip Mena.
Simone Biles is doing things no other gymnast has ever done. She hasn't lost a competition in 3 years. She even has her own move, the Biles. Amy Borman is Simone's coach.
She flips backward with a straight body 2 times, and on the second flip, she does a half turn and she lands forward.
And yesterday, she took one more step toward the one thing she hasn't yet achieved.
This one.
An Olympic medal, by qualifying for the U.S. team going to Rio.
Sometimes I hear the crowd cheering, and most of the time, like, your body's on autopilot. So sometimes even after I do a floor routine, I'm like, did I really just do that?
In 2012, Simone was too young to compete in the London Games. But since then, she's been on fire. The 19-year-old gymnast is a 3-time world all-around champion, the first woman to win the title 3 times in a row. She's earned 14 medals in the World Championships, 10 of which are gold.
There you go.
We sat down with her before the U.S. Olympic team trials to find out what it takes to make gymnastics history.
Do you know how many hours a week you work?
32 hours. So on Mondays and Wednesdays, I train from 12:30 to 5:30. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I train from 9 to 12, and then 3 to 6. And then on Saturday, we practice 9 to 1.
Time spent earning wins and the admiration of legendary coaches.
Today she's the best gymnast in the world.
Bella Caroli, who has coached 9 Olympic champions, including the greats like Nadia Comaneci, says Simone compares to the very best in Olympic gymnastics history.
Nadia back at that time was considered the perfection. I mean, the absolute perfection. Then Mary Lou on her time was considered one of the wonder child of the sport of gymnastics. And now Simone's time is coming up.
Simone's mom, Nellie Biles, says that Simone was like a little spring from the time she was a little girl.
Always jumping, always flipping. I don't think someone ever walked up the stairs.
But discovering gymnastics was an accident that happened when a field trip was canceled.
And so they did an indoor trip instead, and then ended up going to Bannon's gymnastics. And I still recall Simone coming home with a note saying, would we consider her joining the gym?
Simone's biological grandparents had adopted her from foster care at age 5. With their unwavering support, Simone sprouted.
They always travel to my meets and do whatever they need for me, so I'm really grateful for that. But I think every time I go out and compete, they're just so excited whenever I do well because they know how hard I've put in.
Her coach, Amy Borman, remembers when she saw her for the very first time at age 6.
I was like, what is with this kid? She did a round off back handspring her very first time in class, and she said, my brother taught it to me in the backyard. So it didn't take long before we pulled her to have her evaluated for team.
It's those handsprings perfected that sets her apart, says her coach.
Knowing exactly where you are in the air. You know how some people have incredible balance? Well, imagine having balance without your feet on the ground while flipping and twisting and knowing exactly when you have to bring your feet down to the floor so that you don't die.
Not dying was what was on my mind when I tried a small fraction of what Simone does every day.
Wow.
You know, if he splits the beam, he'll hurt himself.
Is split a beam what I think it is?
Yes.
That smile and those medals have caught the attention of corporate sponsors, household names like Tide Pods.
It's small but mighty, and I think I paired up with them because it kind of reflects on my gymnastics. I'm very small, but I like to say I'm powerful, so I think it went hand in hand.
She knows small can be powerful.
But before the commercials and the fame, there was sacrifice. All those countless hours in the gym forced her to miss out on moments most teenagers cherish.
Since I was homeschooled those years so that I could do what I do, I thought that I was missing out on public school and going to all the football games or prom or homecomings. But then once I think back to it, I'm like, well, yeah, I can say I've missed a prom, but I've been to 3 world championships and they won't ever get to say that. So I think it's a win-win.
I know it was tough for her because she saw her friends from that she grew up with going to prom and homecoming and all that stuff, and she didn't get to participate in any of that. So I know it was a struggle. Split and wrap. Good. She's a major rock star. I mean, when you have people like Mary Lou Retton